Picture a state of mind where nothing can disturb your inner peace, where insults bounce off you, setbacks don't shake you, and chaos leaves you unmoved. Where provocations fail to get a rise out of you, where your silence carries more weight than the noise around you, where staying calm becomes your ultimate source of strength. This isn't wishful thinking. It's a trainable ability, a practiced way of life rooted in Buddhist wisdom. What you're about to explore is an approach that liberates you from knee-jerk reactions, mental spirals, and the exhausting need to justify yourself. You'll understand how to shield your vital energy, separate yourself from turmoil, and meet life's challenges with focus and composure. The world may continue to test you endlessly, but you'll no longer be moved by it. First, recognize that not everything is worthy of your attention. Throughout life, not every conflict needs your involvement. Not every remark requires an answer, and not every individual deserves your defense, explanation, or understanding. Buddhist philosophy reveals a fundamental principle. Your mental, emotional, and spiritual resources are precious. Squandering them on trivial matters only distances you from what truly matters in your life. Consider your energy as water held in a container. If you continuously pour it out over pointless debates, harmful individuals, or concerns beyond your influence, you'll soon have nothing remaining for what genuinely counts: your development, your tranquility, your calling. Idle talk is merely background noise. Resentments corrupt your spirit. Obsessively monitoring what others say about you becomes an emotional snare. These burdens weigh on you like unseen stones in a bag, making every forward step harder than necessary. Before directing your focus or response towards something, take a moment and question yourself. Does this merit disrupting my peace? Will engaging with this foster my growth or simply exhaust me? Does this align with the person I aspire to be? When you begin posing these questions, you start selecting your conflicts with wisdom and purpose. You no longer allow yourself to be dragged into every bit of drama or distraction. Instead, you elevate yourself beyond them. Buddhism doesn't advocate for becoming emotionally distant or disconnected from existence. It's about using your energy intelligently, understanding when to participate and when to withdraw without feeling guilty. Once you begin safeguarding your peace as if it were something invaluable, you'll discover something remarkable. The less you respond to foolishness, the stronger you become. Select serenity over disorder. Select peace over the urge to be right. Select advancement over trivial disputes, because not everything warrants your energy. And once you truly internalize that truth, you'll enter an entirely new realm of liberation. Among the most significant sources of unease in our existence is the perpetual hunger for validation from others. We desire to be appreciated, celebrated, viewed as accomplished, smart, caring, and appealing. Yet, Buddhism reminds us of a freeing reality. Genuine tranquility arises not from external perceptions, but from your own self-perception. When your self-worth depends on outside opinions, you become like a leaf caught in the breeze, shifting direction based on what people express or believe about you. A single compliment elevates you. A single critique devastates you. You're no longer living authentically. You're putting on a show for an audience that's perpetually shifting. Internal validation, however, operates differently. It's subtle. It doesn't demand attention or seek acknowledgement. It emerges from understanding your identity, your principles, and your journey. It's the capacity to declare, "I'm satisfied with how I manage that situation," or "I approach this with honesty and compassion, and that's sufficient." The Buddha never chased recognition. He existed in truth, and that truth provided its own fulfillment. Similarly, when your behaviors reflect your fundamental values like compassion, honesty, and awareness, you stop needing external confirmation that you're succeeding. You simply know. So how do you cultivate this internal validation? Through reflection, through meditation, through writing down your thoughts. At day's end, instead of wondering, did they approve of me? Ask yourself, did I act wisely? Did I remain authentic to myself? Did I make even small progress? The more you engage in this practice, the less you'll pursue external acknowledgement. Positive feedback, compliments, and praise will feel pleasant, but they won't determine your value. And criticism won't demolish you because your foundation rests in self-awareness. When you start affirming yourself internally, something extraordinary occurs. You stop requiring the world's approval to feel confident about who you are. You stop performing and begin truly living. That's authentic freedom. And that's where unbreakable peace takes root. Third, learn to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Existence is filled with surprising moments, an unexpected insult, a statement that irritates you, circumstances that instantly spark frustration, rage, or worry. Most individuals react automatically. Someone delivers a harsh comment and they fire back. An issue emerges and they spiral into panic. But Buddhism offers an elevated approach. Don't react, respond. What distinguishes these? A reaction happens instantly. It stems from emotion rather than wisdom. It's typically defensive, hasty, and driven by fear or ego. A response, conversely, is deliberate. It's considered. It establishes space between what occurred and how you decide to handle it. Buddha instructed that between trigger and action, there exists a meaningful pause, a gap where you can determine your course. And within that pause resides your strength. Most anguish in life results from losing that pause and allowing your emotions to take control. Imagine someone insults you. Reacting might mean shouting back, becoming defensive, or taking it to heart. But responding would involve breathing, noticing the emotion rising within you and asking, is this truly about me? Or, is this individual also struggling? Will responding with anger benefit me? Or will staying silent communicate more? That instant of consideration transforms everything. It doesn't require suppressing your feelings. It means observing them without becoming consumed by them. You don't let your emotions commandeer your thoughts. Developing the ability to respond rather than react requires dedication. It starts with mindful awareness. Whenever you feel provoked, simply take one breath. One intentional breath generates sufficient space to ground your consciousness. That pause is where you recall your principles, your tranquility, your purpose. From there, you can respond in ways that preserve your inner stillness and respect your higher nature. The reality is, most situations don't require your reaction. They require your composure. Your capacity to maintain calm when others lose control represents a form of wisdom. And that wisdom can ease tension, conserve your energy, and uphold your dignity. Once you master this concept, you'll stop being controlled by emotions like a puppet on strings. You'll become the one guiding the moment, not the one being swept along by it. So when life presents a trigger, don't simply react. Pause, breathe, respond with clarity instead of confusion, and within that space, you'll discover peace that the world cannot remove. Fourth, release the need to be fully understood. One of the deepest forms of suffering for many individuals is wanting to be completely understood by others. You want people to recognize your heart, to perceive your intentions, your struggles, your reasoning. But Buddhist teaching shows us that clinging to this need for validation and comprehension can imprison you in needless frustration and emotional pain. Here's the reality. Not everyone will understand you. Not everyone is supposed to. People interpret the world through their personal filters, through their wounds, their convictions, their assumptions. Even when you express your truth with clarity and sincerity, someone might still distort it, dismiss it, or completely overlook it. And when you tie your peace to whether someone understands you, you surrender power over your emotional well-being. You become captive to their perception. You push harder to explain, to demonstrate, to rationalize. You mentally replay conversations, wondering what you should have expressed differently. But all of that diverts you from your authentic path. Buddhism guides us to release attachments. And among the most liberating attachments to surrender is the attachment to being accurately perceived by others. Letting go doesn't mean abandoning communication or compassion. It means you stop suffering when others fail to comprehend. You recognize that your peace doesn't rely on their approval. You stop needing to prove yourself. You stop justifying yourself to those determined to misunderstand you. Here's a straightforward yet liberating truth. You understand your heart. You understand your intentions. You understand your path. That's sufficient. When you release the need to be understood, you enter a beautiful kind of freedom. You stop pursuing external clarity and begin cultivating internal clarity. You start living more genuinely without needing to modify yourself for others' comfort. Practice this approach. When someone misunderstands you, don't immediately try to correct it. Ask yourself, do I genuinely need this person's understanding to live peacefully? Most often, the answer is no. Smile, breathe, wish them well, and continue forward. This detachment isn't coldness, it's wisdom. It's recognizing that the right people, those who truly perceive you, won't require endless explanations, and those who refuse to see you clearly, no explanation will ever suffice. So, liberate yourself. Exist in your truth. Let your actions communicate louder than your words. And remember, peace doesn't come from being understood. It comes from understanding yourself. Fifth, develop mastery over emotional detachment. Emotions are natural. You're human. You will experience hurt, anger, disappointment, frustration, even heartbreak at times. Buddhism doesn't demand that you deny or suppress these feelings. Instead, it provides you with a deeper path to feel completely without being overwhelmed. This is the skill of emotional detachment, a form of inner mastery that enables you to experience life openly while preserving your inner peace intact. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean apathy or indifference. It means you learn to witness your emotions rather than being ruled by them, like observing a river flowing. You notice the emotion, you acknowledge it, but you don't dive in and get carried away. This is the heart of Buddhist mindfulness. Being present with your emotions without identifying with them. For instance, when someone says something hurtful, your initial instinct may be to feel anger or pain. But if you've trained your awareness, you'll notice that emotion emerging like a wave. And instead of immediately reacting or internalizing it, you create distance. You might tell yourself, this is anger. I see it, I feel it, but I am not it. That distance between feeling and reaction, that's where your power emerges. This practice proves especially valuable in relationships. When people disappoint you, misunderstand you, or even betray you, emotional detachment provides you the clarity to respond with wisdom rather than woundedness. It enables you to care deeply without clinging, to love without losing yourself, to let go without collapsing. In Buddhism, attachment is regarded as a fundamental cause of suffering. When you cling to emotions, grasping at joy, resisting sadness, fixating on someone's words, you create mental strain. But when you observe emotions like clouds drifting across the sky, you learn that they are temporary. They arrive and depart. No emotion, regardless of its intensity, is permanent. Building emotional detachment requires daily practice. Meditation is among the most effective tools. Sit in stillness. Focus on your breathing. When a feeling emerges, don't resist it. Simply label it. This is sadness. This is anxiety. This is longing. You'll discover that naming the emotion helps diminish its hold. Over time, you'll develop an inner stillness that remains undisturbed even during the most turbulent emotional storms. Detachment also means not defining your identity by how you feel. You are not your emotions. You are the awareness observing them. That simple realization can revolutionize how you navigate life. Emotional detachment isn't about being distant. It's about being deeply connected to yourself first. When you understand how to center your own energy, you stop expecting others to do it for you. You stop needing constant reassurance because you've constructed a sanctuary within. So, the next time your emotions feel overpowering, take a breath. Remind yourself, this is a moment. It will pass. I don't need to grasp it. I can feel and still release. When you master the skill of emotional detachment, you become calm without being cold, strong without being inflexible, and compassionate without being consumed. That's genuine freedom. That's unshakable peace. Sixth, understand that your peace is your responsibility. One of the most transformative lessons in Buddhism and in personal development overall is this: your peace isn't anyone else's responsibility, it's yours. This may sound straightforward, but it's incredibly powerful, because for most of our lives, we've been taught to believe otherwise. We assume we'll feel peaceful when other people treat us properly, when circumstances unfold favorably, when the world matches our expectations. But this belief places your inner world into the hands of forces beyond your control. Buddhism inverts this belief. It teaches you that the path to freedom starts when you stop outsourcing your peace and accept complete ownership of your mental state. Peace isn't something to wait for. It's something you generate moment by moment, thought by thought, breath by breath. Consider this. If your peace depends on someone else never upsetting you, you've already given them control over your mood. If your calm depends on everything proceeding exactly as planned, you'll be disturbed by even the smallest inconvenience. But if you start viewing peace as your inner discipline, something you construct and protect like a sacred garden, then no one and nothing can steal it from you. So how do you start taking responsibility for your peace? First, by recognizing that peace is a daily practice, not a one-time achievement. It's not something you attain once and maintain forever. It's something you return to repeatedly, especially when life feels chaotic. You choose it like a warrior chooses calm before battle. Begin each day with intention. Even 5 minutes of quiet meditation can establish the tone for how you respond to life. In that silence, remind yourself, I will not surrender my peace today. I will not hand control of my mind to anyone else. This simple commitment becomes your anchor. Second, protect your mental space. Just as you wouldn't permit someone to dump garbage in your home, don't let toxic conversations, unnecessary drama, or negative information fill your inner world. Learn to decline without guilt. Learn to step back when something disrupts your balance. This isn't avoidance, it's wisdom. It's you declaring, my peace is more valuable than this passing distraction. Third, accept full responsibility for your emotional responses. When you feel upset, hurt, or angry, don't immediately blame others. Instead, ask, what is this reaction revealing to me? Where am I still clinging to pain or expectation? This is genuine ownership. It's not simple, but that's where real strength exists. Because once you stop blaming others for your feelings, you reclaim the power to transform them. Remember, even the Buddha encountered chaos, insults, and betrayal, yet he remained centered. Not because the world was peaceful, but because he trained his mind to be peaceful inside. This doesn't mean you become passive or uncaring. It means you become mindful. You act from a place of steady clarity instead of emotional confusion. You speak from love, not from ego. You guard your energy not to exclude people, but to stay true to your purpose. When you fully accept that your peace is your own duty, you stop waiting for others to apologize, to change, or to understand you. You stop needing the world to adjust for your comfort. Instead, you rise above challenges by mastering your inner space. You become the calm in the storm, the one who carries light even in darkness. And the best part, peace spreads. When you embody it, others sense it. Your energy becomes a safe space, not just for you, but for everyone around you. But it all begins with a choice. I choose peace, and I take full responsibility for holding it. That's not only maturity, that's mastery. And in that mastery, you realize that the strongest peace is the one no one can take away. Seventh, remember to see the bigger picture. It's very easy to become stuck in the moment, irritated by a comment, wounded by a misunderstanding, frustrated by a delay, or burdened by small daily troubles. But Buddhism offers a powerful practice, to zoom out and remind ourselves of the bigger picture, because what disturbs us now often won't even matter in a week, a year, or a lifetime. The bigger picture is where peace resides. It's where you recognize that most of what troubles you is temporary and often insignificant in the greater flow of life. When you learn to shift your focus from the small to the large, from the surface to the soul, you stop giving energy to the trivial and start living with deeper calm and clarity. Imagine yourself examining a single thread in an enormous tapestry. If you only focus on that one thread, a minor flaw might seem significant. But when you step back and view the full design, you see that one small imperfection doesn't diminish the beauty of the whole. Life operates in the same way. When someone says something that offends you, ask yourself, will this matter 5 years from now? Is it really worth sacrificing my peace over? Most of the time, the answer humbles you. The feeling fades, the heaviness lifts. Buddhist teachings often use death and impermanence as reminders to help us shift our perspective. This isn't to frighten you, it's to remind you of what truly matters. The Buddha said, "Of all footprints, the elephant's is the greatest. And of all meditations, reflecting on death is the greatest." Why? Because when you truly understand that life is short and uncertain, you stop wasting energy on things that don't support your growth, your peace, or your purpose. You begin to ask deeper questions. What am I here for? How can I bring more compassion into this moment? Am I living in alignment with my higher self or reacting from my lower self? These questions lift you out of small thinking and bring you back to your true essence. The bigger picture also reminds you that everyone is facing their own struggles. The person who snapped at you may be grieving. The one who ignored you might be drowning in self-doubt. Everyone acts from their own level of awareness, just as you do. When you remember this, you shift from judgment to compassion, from irritation to empathy. Another powerful way to return to the bigger picture is through daily reflection or journaling. Each night, ask yourself, what truly mattered today? What did I give too much weight to? What will I carry into tomorrow, and what will I let go of? This practice reshapes your mind to filter out noise and focus on what has meaning. It makes you more mindful, more steady, and less reactive. When you hold the bigger picture in mind, you also become more present. That might sound contradictory, but it isn't. You stop dwelling on what's next or what went wrong, and instead begin living this moment with clarity and purpose, because you see its place in the larger journey of your life. The ultimate bigger picture in Buddhism is awakening, freedom from suffering through wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness. That's the real goal. Not winning arguments, not proving you're right, not getting even, but becoming so free within that nothing outside can disturb your peace. So when you feel upset, frustrated, or off balance, pause, take a breath, and remind yourself, this is only one page in my story, not the whole book. Recenter yourself, reconnect with your path, and move forward with the kind of peace that comes only from seeing beyond the moment. Because when you live with the bigger picture in mind, you stop stressing over the small things and start becoming someone who views life through the eyes of wisdom, not woundedness. That's when you're truly unshaken. That's when you rise. In a world full of noise, chaos, and constant emotional triggers, staying unbothered is not weakness, it's a conscious discipline. And Buddhism gives a path not to escape life, but to rise above its storms with grace and clarity. You've now learned 7 powerful principles. To guard your energy like a sacred flame, to validate yourself from within, to respond instead of react, to release the need for others to always understand you, to practice emotional detachment, to take full responsibility for your peace, and to always hold the bigger picture in mind. These are not just ideas, they are daily practices, small shifts you make in your thoughts, your breath, your focus. At first, they may feel unusual, but with time, they become part of who you are. And the more you follow this path, the more your peace becomes unshakable. Not because the world has changed, but because you have. So take these teachings and apply them slowly, with patience. Let them grow into your inner language. And remember, the most powerful person in any room is not the loudest, not the toughest, but the one who stays calm while everything else is in flames. May you walk with wisdom. May you live in peace, and may nothing disturb your inner stillness.